Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, August 9th, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, no outside distractions. Still as a statue, relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath rising and falling. Once you confine yourself to this ever-present moment, you become totally complete, whole and healed, just as you are. There's a massive, major transformation that is engaged on this planet. And it depends on how people view themselves. I don't mean in judgment. I mean, do they love themselves deeply? Do they forgive themselves across the board? Now, if they love themselves, they love everything else. Okay. It's like walking from, when you're in 3D, right? And we all been in 3D for a long time. And then you transition into a much higher frequency, higher dimension. And it's difficult for most to really differentiate what does that mean. When I go from 3-dimension to 5-dimension, what is that? Well, it's a higher frequency, obviously. You're going up the ladder, so to speak, and you're in a higher frequency. And the higher frequency, right, things shift, they transform. Your perspective completely different as compared to when you were in 3D. There's no, it's like comparing apples to oranges. And your benevolence, tranquility, peace, you're within. That's where everything is. All the peace, tranquility, joy, bliss is within us. And through 5D, you discover that. It comes out. Now, the people that are, quite, how do you put it, distant from themselves. What will happen to them? They transition. When you're in a different frequency, you're in different frequency. You can't be at 5 and 3 at the same time. You're either in 5 or 3. And all that is that just depends on, how you perceive and how you view yourself. Now, if you look at yourself in a very, shady area where you don't respect yourself and you've got a lot of issues and so on and so forth, your transition is a lot different. People talk about, we're going to leave people behind, or, it isn't like that. You're not going to leave people behind. Some people will transition. And when you're in 5D, you're not, it's difficult to explain. You're not focused in 3D anymore. You're out completely. Your vibrational frequencies are much higher consistently, not intermittently, but consistently. So whereas at one time you looked at a beachfront and said, "Isn't that beautiful?" Well, in 5D, you'll say, "That's the God that I am." That's period. That is the God that I am. And you begin to realize that you're part of everything, literally part of everything, not figuratively. Your essence and energy is part of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And see, this planet has been invaded and darkened throughout the centuries and eons, and it's being cleansed. It's literally being cleansed completely. Spiritually, higher dimensional frequencies across the board. So in other words, evil can't exist on this planet. And there are other planetary systems that have already done that, where it doesn't exist in a way that we're used to, okay? And it is a mere echo compared to what we've experienced. And this is, see, when you look at something like this and you realize that everything that we've experienced to the now, right now, is part of our learning process and comprehending, and gives us a comparison, so to speak. And then you transition, you ascend into a higher vibrational frequency, 5-dimensional frequency. You've heard me say this is why we have 5 fingers on each hand and 5 toes on each foot. Okay? We're already set up to exist in 5D. But as we look at this planet as it is now, none of that will be here. It won't exist. You know, as people view dying, or how they view death, it's not going to be that way. You will be in a state, okay, a spiritual state, and you will operate from spirit through body, knowingly. Right now we just operate. We operate through ego mind, you know. But in 5D you operate through spirit through body, not through body. Do you see what I mean? You're not disconnected anymore. You're aware, big time. So what does that do? Well, it increases everybody's vibrational frequency. And then this planet becomes, like I have been saying for years, a God-planet paradigm. It's a transition. It's not going to happen in 2 days. But you move, things transition, and you notice that things, the lower frequencies drop away. And you begin to witness that, and you begin to experience it. The lower frequencies drop away. And when they drop away, what comes in? Your higher frequencies. You, the God that you are within that body. Okay? The essence. However you want to say it. The energy. The pure consciousness. And when you do that, you transcend, you move, you become higher frequency. You already are as the God, but you, with the body, becomes a much higher vibrational frequency. And see, this is what's coming with this planet. You see things where you have tranquility, bliss, joy. What you are within begins to show outside. See what I mean? And you're aware. You're not confused or constantly questioning. You're aware. So you know. And then you, through the spirit, through the essence that you are, guide the body. Rather than being heavily steeped in 3D, where the body you don't know you're guiding the body, and you really aren't, because you're not aware. And so when you become not aware, this is what we have on Earth right now. The majority of the people are not aware. When you become aware, you're in 5D, and the way you vibrate with things, whole different experience. You see goodness and beauty in all things. You're transitioning more and more to God, okay, and not material physical. So as you transition, you can you can manifest anything you want. You can create, experience flawlessly, with ease. Not like now, okay? And this has taken a long time for this transition to happen. Millions, if not billions of years. And now we're at the precipice of watching right in front of us the end of pure evil on the planet. This is what's happening. This is why it's so, how you put it, distracting, negative, fearful. These are all low vibrational frequencies. And this is what's spewing all over the place. All the things that keep coming up every day. And we're moving at much faster pace than you realize. As you've heard me say, that this planet, time cannot keep up with it at this stage. It is progressing, and it is transforming so quickly. So we, since we inhabit this planet, are accelerating as well. Time is accelerating, and time can't even keep up with the planet. Think about that. I looked at the clock, and it was my time, Mountain Time, was 1:30. And it seemed like a few seconds went by, and it was 1:45. Have you done that recently? I bet you have. Is it an illusion? No, it's really, that's what's happening. Time is speeded up immensely. You look at your day, I don't care if you get up at 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, but you realize how fast it goes. Next thing you know, it's evening, and it's time for bed again. And you just feel like you just got up. So it's not dragging, is what I'm saying. The collective consciousness of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, is moving and transitioning this entire planet, the solar system, and the galaxy. And we're right in that, we're on the outer rim of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system. And we're in the transition phase. And you won't recognize this planet a handful of years from now. You won't. And in a decade, you'll know. I mean, it's a Class M planet, okay, a solar system called Earth. But when you come into the planet and you walk around or you maneuver, you want to recognize it. There won't be the rabble and the rubble that exists now. You'll see highly advanced civilization, no wars or conflicts, and peace, an energetic frequency of peace saturating the atmosphere. Isn't that wild? Now you compare that to now, you can't. It's just no comparison. And the peace comes from within us all. You know what I mean? Comes from within us all, the peace. And that's where it's been all the time. Where does the love come from? The love for ourselves and each other. Within. Starts to come out. Through our awareness. So we shine. We shine it out all over the place. And each other. What melts away is the stuff that's been created here in 3D of skin color and prejudice and revenge and manipulation and deception and all of these things. And we all know what those are. You know, we've been around the horn more than once on this planet. But those won't be there. You see what I mean? They won't be there in 5D. You won't experience those anymore. And evil will be a distant past. It will be very rarely ever even discussed. And at that, lightly. This is what truly is transitioning on this planet. It's a complete metamorphosis that's happening. Yeah, sure, you still see a lot of people, the majority that are asleep, that, you know, they're not, when they view things, it's, you know, it's almost like those of us who are aware to a certain extent are in a different place. You know what I mean? Whether it be your relatives or friends or, you know, loved ones, whatever. You feel like you're in a different place. That you're not in the same place they are. And our place is not to wake them up at all. That's up to them. And to comprehend this is great, because then we know, okay, you're not going to, you know, we're not out to save people from that, okay? And see, the new earth will be a whole different structure. You won't see or experience dis-ease, all right? Not death in the way that we know it now. Poverty, you know, all that stuff won't exist in New Earth. Just won't be there. And you can kind of see here in our country that's transpiring, okay? That you can see it moving in that direction. You see, we have been incarcerated so long on this planet that we don't know any difference. And what's happening is the incarceration is ending. And then we start experiencing how free we truly are. When we thought we were free. And then we start experiencing what true freedom is. I mean, there'll be creativeness way off the charts. There'll be all kinds of experiences, and we won't stay on this planet. Okay? We will leave the planet with different technologies, and we will go out into the universe, not the galaxy and universe. We'll interact and meet with other cultures and other civilizations and other species. It's an inevitability. See? We've just been incarcerated so long in this quadrant of the galaxy, in this solar system, that we don't know the difference. We just think this is the way it's always been, always will be. And it isn't. Not by far. And so then we have the opportunity to do what? Expand, grow, advance. See, and after a while, you know, the technologies will be everywhere, right? We will use them to assist us, but not to control us and not to run us, because of our awareness and comprehension of things. Right now, it's just forming. It's just helter-skelter. Everybody's rushing to get here and be ahead of this and that. Pretty typical. But as we transition, you won't feel compelled to rush anything. You will float. You'll be in the now most of your time that you choose. You won't be stressed. You won't be freaked out. You won't be angry. All those things will slip away. And some people say, well, maybe you need anger. We've had it. We know what it is, right? Revenge, harming others and harming life. We've all been through all that. Why would we continually be through it? We're not. We're moving on. And this is what happens because the whole civilization transforms. It goes through a ascension. It ascends into higher frequency, awareness, benevolence, peace, tranquility, bliss, joy, happiness, which we all contain. We don't have to go get it. We already have it. All of us do. And when we begin to comprehend that, we let it out. We spread it. And you imagine that on this planet, where everybody is open-hearted in the now, embracing every single speck of existence. Loving oneself deeply and eternally. Loving everyone else deeply and eternally. Having the intimate relationship with the God that you are. Okay? Right now it's reversed. And now it's going to be set right. This is the planet that you'll be experiencing. The one now, we're moving. You can tell. Things aren't the same, you notice? With those that are aware to a certain extent. They're not the same. They don't have the same feel. They don't have the same flavor. And you can tell that. And it's not like you're focusing on it. You just feel it. You sense it. It's not the same. Things just aren't the same anymore. Like they've always been. This is far beyond a spiritual. This is like a cosmic ascension process for a civilization. And see, knowing that eventually we already are part of it. We're never separated. But we will be able to plug in at will, whenever, to the collective consciousness, which is basically all the knowledge, all the experience, everywhere, anywhere, constantly coming in. See? Which is absolutely off the charts. Spectacular. These are the things that we'll be transitioning with. And you can talk about it, and visualize and explain it. But that's about as far as you can go until you actually walk into it and it's embracing you. Because what we have experienced for a very long time on this planet is ending. We're transitioning to a much higher frequency and existence compared to what we've had. And there's a lot of people that are excited about that. It should be. But not impatient. So we have the opportunity to embrace the ascension, the transition, at its pace, not ours, but at its pace. And you'll see governments fade out. Seriously. You'll see whole governments on the planet fade away. You'll see the infrastructure fade away to be replaced by something totally different. You'll see conflicts on the planet fade away. There won't be any, anywhere. Nobody will be vying for money, power, and control. It won't exist. You see, all that stuff. What about, the dark frequencies that are on the planet now? They won't be here. There'll be specks of dark particles, but that's it. And one might say, well, then will that planet be, the fifth dimensional Earth? Will that be still challenging and experiencing in a different way? Not like here, not like what we're in now, but it'll be in a different way. That yes, we will experience, but we won't have the caustic turmoil and upheaval and stress and strain and pulling and fighting, and that won't exist. We will exist at ease in five-dimensional Earth. We will be at ease. We won't be flustered, frustrated, irritated, rushed. There won't be a rat race. Won't exist. And we'll float. Sounds kind of funny, but yeah, we'll float. We won't be interested in living yesterday and tomorrow. We'll just be in the now. And that is just a brief summary of the picture of what you're looking at through this transition. And that's exactly what we're in. Full blown. A dimensional shift from 3 to 5. Benevolence flooding in, deep eternal love, all the other stuff fading out. As we take center stage with ourselves, and we become intimately connected to our God, the God that we are. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Fall in love with yourself. Your spiritual quest is a sweet internal love affair. Being in awe of your own beauty, seeing your majesty and grace. You savor every moment you have with yourself, cherishing and enjoying yourself, smiling from the inside. Falling in love with is natural, healing, and oh so nourishing. To be spiritually awake means you're fully present to this eternal celebration of life in each moment. There is no judgment about good or bad or right or wrong. You are simply in a state of awe and gratitude for what is. This is completely effortless task. Yet even effortless is too much a word to truly discover it. Go about your day even more freely, lightly, effortlessly than you ever have in your entire life. Make celebration of existence the number one commitment throughout today. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Sunday, August 10, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in.